Hello, I'm Aurora Davidson, CEO of Amerigo. Today I'd like to share additional details about the heavy rains our MVC copper recovery plant experienced over the past 7 weeks. The impacts of those rains forced us to change our full-year copper production guidance 2 times this year. This was unprecedented for Amerigo, but the causes were unusual as well. As you look at this video, please remember that we are back producing copper at full operational capacity, so this message looks backward at these recent events. Our upcoming fourth quarter of 2023 should be unaffected by the images you're about to see. The images document 4 weeks from the end of the heaviest rains to the return to full production at our historic tailings deposit at Cauquenes. This has been an exceptional weather year in Rancagua, Chile, where our copper recovery plant is located. The excessive rain would have been bad enough had we been operating during a normal weather cycle. However, for the last 10 years, we have been dealing with a lack of rain and widespread drought conditions. So far in 2023, MVC has received over 695 millimeters, or 27 inches of rain. This is over 2.5 times the amount of rain MVC got in the previous 2 years. Most of this rain fell in 3 weeks, during which there were also heavy days of rain measuring from 20 to 100 millimeters, which is very unusual. MVC is in an arid area that receives annual rainfall over a multi-month season, not over a few weeks. These sustained rains came on the heels of a massive flooding event at MVC earlier in June. Water always seeks the lowest ground, and Cauquenes is the lowest area at MVC. And the record-breaking rains quickly accumulated in Cauquenes, filling the area like a big bathtub. Eventually, there was no way we could stay ahead of the rain and keep the water level down to levels safe enough for operations to continue at Cauquenes. At that point, we had to remove the rising water as quickly as possible. Ultimately, over 3 weeks, our teams removed 2.2 million cubic meters of water so that we could restart operations at Cauquenes. 2.2 million cubic meters is a lot of material, and it isn't easy to put that into perspective, but I will give you a few examples because they will highlight the superb abilities of our operational teams to respond to challenges. These teams perennially exceed their performance goals, but have also been tested this year in ways no one could have foreseen. They have risen to the challenge twice over 3 months and responded with tremendous skill and dedication. These same teams also recently set a new plant record for safety, so their solutions do not sacrifice in one area to gain in another. I am tremendously proud of them. So back to the comparison, 2.2 million cubic meters is the equivalent of a square parking lot 1 kilometer wide by 1 kilometer long, covered with over 2 meters of water. For our American friends, that water would be over 7 feet deep. Another way to think about it is that 2.2 million cubic meters is the equivalent volume of more than 2 Empire State Buildings in New York. As you see in these photos, there are areas where the water depth was far greater than 2 meters, and that is because the water kept going towards the low spots. These low spots included where we were currently moving material to send to the processing plant. We needed to remove all the water, not just some of it, to return to normal operations. To do that as quickly as possible, our teams used the pumps that normally sent material from Cauquenes to the processing plant. While using all the pumps to dewater Cauquenes, MVC continued to process as much fresh tailings material from El Teniente as possible. This minimized the overall impact on production. Remember that normal MVC operations take fresh material from El Teniente and historic materials from Cauquenes. As I said, the plant is back to normal, processing fresh and historic tailings. The rainy season is over in Chile, and these events should not occur again during the dry season. That means that our fourth quarter which starts on October the 1st, should proceed normally, and we should hit our original fourth quarter production targets. The video shows the last cleanup stages at Cauquenes after removing most of the water. The before and after are striking. Last week, we paid our 8th consecutive quarterly dividend. That quarterly dividend is safe because Amerigo's board of directors has been conservative in its implementation of the company's return of capital strategy. That strategy is only one piece of an even larger capital allocation strategy, which ensures that Amerigo will never starve operations of needed capital. We have seen the benefits of risk mitigation projects this year and expect further benefits in the future. To close this message, I would like to comment that in this challenging year, the copper prices averaged only around 10% less than the average 2022 copper price, despite the perceptions of increasing weakness. The fundamentals of growing demand and constraints on future supply are firmly in place, and we remain convinced that our outlook for future solid copper prices is correct. We think that Amerigo stock provides an outstanding opportunity for investors. In a world of rising inflation, the need for an investment that can be counted on to help offset that negative impact is tremendous. We believe that Amerigo provides that to investors and that our value proposition will continue to get better. With that, I'll end this message. Thank you for watching.